this is about God revealing himself to me in my own small life, not with big bang, barutis bursting everywhere and a big show. No, it's in my daily life when I wake up and I'm just strolling around in my Crocs.
And our guru says your guru finds you. Your true guru finds you. Yes, you can go and listen to teachers online. It's fine. You can yourself decide this is my guru on YouTube or whatever, but the person who you're eternally connected to, your eternal guide, will actually find you.
And then I go to the washroom. I'm chanting. I have my mala. I'm chanting. And I'm hiding it from my mom, by the way. Because I don't want drama. What is this? People, the way they have judgment around, practices that they don't know about.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear viewers and listeners. Welcome back to yet another episode of Beauty Lies Beyond podcast with me, Miriam Rose. I'm joined today in studio by yet another amazing human being who is a returning champion. Actually, she was here when we were starting out last year. So welcome, Caro. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be back.
Yeah.
My name is Caroline Gaiduma. I'm a transformation coach. I'm a mother. I am a devotee of Paramahamsa Vishwananda. I am, what else? I'm so many things, just like all human beings are. Yeah, and I'm so happy to be back.
Thank you so much for coming back. You said devotee. I remembered, even me, I'm a devotee. And someone on the last video that we posted, our last episode, was asking what is on my forehead.
Yeah.
It is not that. It's a pattern.
Yeah.
This is a pattern that denotes that we are followers of Paramahamsa Vishwananda, our guru. And it's not Hare Krishna. It looks similar. It's not the same. And I'm just from the temple. So whenever I go to the temple, I wear it. It's not as neat as the last one. But yeah, it's what it signifies that we are devotees of our guru. It has a meaning which I can explain. I've explained before, but I can explain or maybe we can explain it today if it comes up. But that's what is on my forehead. I was at the temple in the morning. Yeah. To serve. I was serving the deity at the temple. Yeah. So today I wanted us, that's just an aside. I wanted us to talk about our guru.
Yeah.
We've been planning to have this discussion for a whole year.
Yeah. It's been a year? Wow.
It's like a whole year later.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to talk about the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is a flagship scripture in Hinduism. And we are both Bhagavad Gita teachers. We can talk a bit about that, but today I had this epiphany to talk about our guru, so that we understand more whenever we are like posting about our guru everywhere, or we talk about him, what do we actually mean? So I want us to talk about the guru and the concept of the guru, and we talk a bit more about our guru, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Cool. So where do you want us to begin?
Well, I think a lot of people, I remember way back when I first heard about the guru, I had a lot of resistance to that. And it's because of, first of all, a lack of understanding of even the spiritual path, because back then I didn't know what is spirituality, I was coming from a religion, and so I did not understand what is this spirituality people are talking about. I did not understand what is the actual goal of life, because when you don't understand that, when you don't understand the concept, then nothing else will make sense. And so first thing is to validate anyone feeling any sort of resistance about the guru, about any spiritual authority, is because maybe you haven't gone to the next step of asking yourself, okay, what is the goal of life? Because that's the only context in which it makes sense. By the way, if you don't see it within the context of the goal of life, it will not make sense. It does not make sense.
Interesting. What's the goal of life?
Well, that's a very good question. According to me, what I have learned, what my experience has been, the goal of life is to realize God, meaning to see God in everything and in everyone at all times. That is the goal of this life. I know in some religions we are going to see God when we die, but for me, the goal is to see Him in this life, in my life experience, in everyone I meet, in everything I do. Yeah, that's the goal of life.
Mine, because I want this to be a conversation. I wasn't concerned about having a guru, but I didn't even know I needed a goal in life. So it's funny you say that. I had an inkling. I think because I used to read a lot. I used to know that there was such a thing as having a guru in your life, and the way I just know myself, I like having partners. Like I love a partner in life too, because it brings out my potential. Yeah. So I knew that I think if I get a guru, my life would just become better. So I knew I didn't resist. But this is before 2019. So when it came the day to actually find our guru now, I'm like, I have been through the thick of religion. I feel like this is just another burden. Actually, I'd forgotten. Like, I don't want a guru. I can do things myself. And this is something I hear all the time. I can do it myself. I can just read a few books. In fact, for me, I just needed to read the Bhagavad Gita. And I'm like, no, I'm good. This answers everything. Why do I need a guru? Why do I need someone to give me rules? Yeah. So that was now sort of a resistance. So the concept of the purpose of life hadn't even occurred to me until we learned about it. And the concept, and for me, the purpose of life in this lifetime stopped being material, and it became spiritual. And I'm like, I actually want to get out of the cycle of birth and rebirth. That has always been the thing for me. Like, I want to get the hell out of here. Yeah. And when I met Paramahamsa Vishwananda, one of the things he promises is, or one of the things that I got was, he has the ability to get me out. Like, this is the person. I think I can follow him. Yeah. So I'm just saying this to say that it's true what you say. If you understand what the concept of the purpose of one's life, what is your soul desiring, then you can know whether to follow someone or not to follow someone.
Yeah. And many times it comes at different levels. The purpose of your life, the way you have configured yourself to, like where you are at right now, it could be you just want everything to work the way you want. You know, and that is what you think life is about. Life is about, getting to a place. There's a place I can get to, and everything I want for my life will be true. Mm-hmm. That's a level. For me, I actually got to what I just told you, like realizing God and seeing God in everything, way after I was into my path. Before it was, I want my suffering to end. I am depressed. Back then I was depressed. I'm feeling a bit conflicted about things. Things are not going my way. I just want to end the suffering. Then it went to, I just want peace. I want things to work my way. Okay, the suffering has ended, but things are still not happening the way I want. I want money, it's not here. I want a good job, it's not here. So I'm like, okay, I think there's a way I can fix that with spirituality. Maybe if I meditate long enough, maybe if I get to highest vibrations, maybe my things will go the way I want them to go. And so it has been a journey. But what I'm saying is that until you get to that place where you realize, actually, this is about God revealing himself to me in my own small life, not with big bang, barutis bursting everywhere and a big show. No, it's in my daily life when I wake up and I'm just strolling around in my Crocs. Do I have that connection with God? Do I see him in what is working and what is not working, in people who I like and who I don't like, So that came very later. And that is when now the idea of a guru, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Because who else would get me there? Mm-hmm. Who else would help me see God in that way? And so I started asking myself, And this is after he was my guru, by the way. So how he became my guru is a story of like just following my heart, you know. But later is when I realized, wait a minute, I cannot get there by listening to people and following people who have not gotten there themselves. And because this is something that I really want, and something that I really want to work through in my life. You know, there's a way, sometimes you feel like my life has to be organized this way for me to get that. No, he teaches your life remains the way it is.
Or gets worse.
Yeah, he is in your life. So your life remains the way it is. Stop imagining that your life has to be organized like this. And sometimes at the beginning of the path, that's what we do. We want him to organize our life in a certain way, and then we will know he's taking us there. Or we want our lives to, we have an idea of what our life should be like. So now I started to realize, no, actually, is to drop those ideas of what I think my life should be like and be at peace with the way it is. And that is how, you know, that is what the journey is. So it's for anyone asking, okay, why do you have a guru? My point is they will not get it, they will not understand it until and unless they have that goal.
I have two things in mind. Two things. One, I met a lady there last episode again. The lady there was talking, I was telling her about my guru because I tell everyone. And then she was like, I wonder how she's pretty advanced. According to how I saw in her spiritual journey, she's pretty advanced. And she's like, I think I'd like to have a guru. So that was for the first time I met someone who was open to the concept of having a guide.
Yeah.
Another name to call a guru is a guide, just a spiritual guide. So she was open to the idea of having a guide. And I told her, one thing Paramahamsa Vishwananda taught us was the guru finds you. A legitimate guru. No, actually, she's not the only one. I've found a few others who are like, how is this? How does this come about?
Yeah.
And our guru says, your guru finds you. Your true guru finds you. Yes, you can go and listen to teachers online. It's fine. You can yourself decide, this is my guru on YouTube or whatever, or just, but the person who you're eternally connected to, your eternal guide, will actually find you. So you need not worry. Our guru says it's the soul that calls out to the guru. When your soul is ready, it will call out to your teacher.
He calls it an SOS, actually. It's like when your soul does an SOS, the teacher appears. But it doesn't mean the relationship starts when the teacher appears. It's an eternal relationship. It has been there. And the way I look at it is, have you ever been somewhere and something happens in your life and you're like, you learn something without anyone really teaching you? It's like you look at things the way they are going and then you're like, yeah, I guess this is, that is the guru. And that's why they say the guru can be in the form of a tree. Like you look at a tree and an insight hits home. And you get a realization about something about yourself, who you are, what you want. So the guru is always leading you, but not in a physical sense. It's like the way God sometimes shows up in a person, you clearly, this is Miriam. This is not someone else. But there's a way she will show up and you'll be like, oh, only God. So that's the same thing, because God is guru. So with time you get to a place of receptivity. You're being guided from the gutter all the way to where we need to be. Every day you're taken step by step. Sometimes you think it's you who has thought something. It's not you. Sometimes you thought ni vile hiyo kuku iliwika nikakumbuka. No. That is how the teacher is the guider. The guide is guiding you every step of the way in so many different ways. But when you reach a certain level, he shows up as a physical being.
Yeah.
And he comes to give you practices, to give you teachings that will help you go more deeper within yourself. Because the thing about seeing God and having that personal and deep and real relationship with God is not that God is not here. Ever since we were kids, God is everywhere. God is in everyone. Why don't you see him? It's not hiding, by the way. It's your perception that is distorted because it's been conditioned. And so he comes to help you remove the distortions. In fact, I think the guru's role is not to add things onto you, it's to remove. To remove your psychological, things, to remove your distorted perspectives, to remove your unstable attention. That's why we are chanting and meditating. Because I think I don't know which book gives that, I think it's Krishna that gives that analogy of a pond. You look at a pond that is disturbed and you see a distorted image of the moon.
It's in the Vedanta.
It's in the Vedanta, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then when the pond comes down, now you see the moon clearly. So that's what is happening. The truth is here, the truth is apparent, but our mind is like that pond, distorted by so many things. And so the thing that he does is to help us to remove those distortions so that we can see clearly. That is the goal.
And I've already just felt like people will be like, first of all, you can have. I like what you said about different gurus. A cock crowing can be a guru, a bird, a tree. A guru is just a guide, yeah. And Paramahamsa Vishwananda is our guru. Some people have other gurus. There are even women gurus, because I can literally just hear people be like, he?
Yeah.
No, in Leta Shida. There are women gurus. They've been gurus throughout history, throughout the history of mankind, because they are guides.
Yeah.
I guess that's important to mention.
True. And it's a principle. Think about the guru as the principle, a guiding principle, something, a part of God that guides a soul from ignorance to light, to awareness. Because it's all God. It's all God guiding us from ignorance, deep ignorance, where we don't know who we are, we don't know where we are, what we are doing, we don't even know who He is and our relationship with Him. From that place, the soul is guided to realize the ultimate truth, that all is God and God is all there is, So that principle, that aspect of God that guides us is the guru principle. And sometimes I've had my guru saying it, in reference to the guru. So he's talking about the guru, devotion to the guru, and then he says it. So I don't take that as a mistake. He knows what he's saying. So and that's why he emphasizes that have the relationship inside of you. And he says, don't be attached to me as the form. Go within. I'm pointing within. Even Jesus was that. Jesus was pointing us back to within ourselves. He was always talking about the Father. Jesus actually never talked about himself. If you look at all the parables, he was talking about the Father. So he was guiding us back to God, who is within us, not outside, up in the sky or wherever, seated within us. And because we have been conditioned, our mind is externally oriented. Another person who is in the distortion cannot lead you away from the distortion. So it is only somebody who can clearly see you, who you are, can clearly see God, can clearly see the distortions. It's like taking a blind man round an obstacle path. So you will tell them, turn left, turn right. Are you telling them because you're higher than them? No, it's because you can see better than them. So that's what the relationship with the guru is. It's a relationship of trust. It's a relationship of surrender. And it starts from the sincerity that you have, understanding that you can't see. When you acknowledge you're blind, that's the first step to that relationship. But you can't acknowledge you're blind if you don't know, first of all, that there's another purpose of life. If you think that life is just about getting the high titles and getting the money and being in an amazing relationship and having the abs and all those things, you will not need a guru. But even in the world, the guru principle is still there, because how did I become a coach? I was trained. That was my guru. How do doctors become? You can't just say, oh, nitaenda kwa ChatGPT nitasoma nifungue clinic. No. You need to, and it takes humility. It starts from, I need to be guided by somebody who knows and somebody who I trust, and I need to submit to them. They might not look the way I want them to look. They might not live where I want them to live. But when they come into class to teach me about the anatomy of the body, I listen. I don't start judging them. Huyu amevaa viatu zinakaa aje? My friend, hata kama amevaa slippers, you write notes because exam inakuja na itakuwa msema kweli, did you get or did you not? So there's an aspect of submission, there's an aspect of humility, and there's an aspect of devotion. And a lot of people have a problem with devotion because they feel like devotion is like, I have to erase myself, I have to minimize. No, devotion is about attunement. You know that the person has clarity. You know the person that has sight. And you align yourself to that. Devotion is actually saying, I am willing to let go of my distortions. I am willing to let go of my identity. I am willing to let go of what I think is right so that I can learn from this person. So, yeah, that...
Unafaa tu kuwa pasta. Mimi naweza kuwa nakusikiza tu. Nakusikiza tu. Gosh.
Yeah.
Tell me about your relationship since now 2019 when we met him.
Yeah.
How has your specific, so that it comes down from being conceptual, we can both share how your relationship has been being with him, like with now your guru. How has it been?
One of the things that has really changed for me is how stable my attention is, how present I'm able to be. Yeah, because the guru somehow starts to point you to the goal, and the goal starts being inward, and the goal starts to be less material. And so the part of the mind that is agitated and jittery about material achievement, material accumulation, it starts to chill, you know? And so I'm able to be a bit more relaxed. And with that, being able to be present in my life, I'm able to see my patterns better. I'm able to see this thing is rising. It's making me a bit anxious. This thing is, you know, we take that for granted, but there are people who will go to very high levels of anxiety without knowing when it's beginning. They'll be so caught up in the storm, they will not see the storm coming. So it's something I don't take for granted because I'm someone who has been depressed, institutionalized, medicated. I know. I've been on that rodeo. So when I can see that, wait, I am more anxious than I was an hour ago, that's a win. And it's because I have chanted, I've been chanting, you know, I've been doing meditation. So it calms my mind down, and that's something that I can only attribute to my guru because there is no other way I would have done it.
Can you give us, do you mind sharing any example? Yeah, before I ask you something else. Like an example that you saw him. Like, you know, we talk about these things off camera. Yeah. So if there is any one of them that you're comfortable sharing where you are in the thick of things,
yeah,
and then something happened and you are like, for sure, if I didn't have my guru in my life,
yeah,
kingeumana too.
Yeah. An example that comes to my mind was this time, for the last 3 years, my parents have been very sick. And I have been heavily reliant on him. You know, just, it's like somewhere you go, you know, like when it rains and then you're umenyeshewa, then you suddenly see a shade somewhere. You just run and hide there, yeah? So that's how he has been for me during this period. So there's this time I was at the temple serving, and we were going to discharge my dad. The doctors had said he's okay to be discharged. So discharging comes with bills. And I knew very well we didn't have money. But I needed to go there and discharge him after the seva at the temple. So I remember just serving, focusing on serving. And then after serving, I'm clearing, I'm washing the dishes, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I will go there, but sina namna. I don't have anywhere. I don't have anyone to call. I don't have anyone to text. But I told him, but you know, I was like, you are in charge of this whole situation. It doesn't look like it's a good situation. It doesn't look like it has a way out, but it's your situation. So all I need to do is calm myself down, And I told myself, I need to trust. Trusting is something that can only happen if you are in a relationship. Trusting, you can't trust a stranger just like that unless you're very naive, or you have a stereotype or something that you paste on them and you're like, huyo ni pastor, huyo ni daktari, So, but it's a relationship. And so I said, whatever will go on, whether it will go wrong or will go right, it is all you. And it's because of this relationship that I was able to say that. And so my anxiety calmed down, and I actually went back to baseline as if I don't have that problem. So I finished what I was doing, and on my way out, my uncle called me. And this is an uncle who we are always going to, because my dad has been admitted 10 times. So it's like you have exhausted the people you can talk to. We have not done harambe. We have run out of our own resources. So he called me. He was like, hi, how are you? How is everyone? Fine. How is your dad? I said, he's fine. He's actually being discharged today. He's like, do you have a bill? Yes. How much is it? I said. I was like, okay, let me see what I can do.
Guy. Nice. I didn't know the story.
Yeah. And then I went. I started my journey, went to hospital. I arrived. I found my mom. She's like, sasa tutatoa wapi pesa? I didn't even remember to tell her my uncle had called her. So we were still in the same situation, both of us. But we started the admission process, imagine. By faith, we said, you know what? Let's just do what needs to be done. And then I go to the washroom. I'm chanting. I have my mala. I'm chanting. And I'm hiding it from my mom, by the way. Because I don't want drama. What is this? People, the way they have judgment around, practices that they don't know about. And so I'm chanting, and I have a lot of peace. And I keep telling him, you're in charge. I know it, you're in charge. Even if he will not be admitted, I know it is you. It is your will. And I'm okay with whatever your will is. So I let go of any outcome that I think is good and what I deserve. And I was just there, present. When I came from the washroom, my mom told me, can you imagine we have all the money? And that is how we discharged my dad from hospital. Now, on the other hand, my mom was sick. She's in hospital. We've been called. She has to be discharged. We have a bill of around close to 300,000. And it's just me, my dad, and my brother-in-law, and none of us has any money. And it is 2. She needs to be discharged by 4. And me, I'm on Fuliza. And my dad is looking at me like, where are we going to get money? I'm like, you're the head of the family. You're supposed to be giving us direction. I just went to a corner and I just prayed. And I was like, I'm not on this path in vain. And I'm not on this path to get my way. I'm on this path to allow divine will to unfold. And if this is divine will, if she's going to leave the hospital today, it will not be because of my anxiety and how much I panicked. It will be because he wanted it. And if she's going to be discharged, it will also not because I know people, I have money. No, it will be because he wills it. And so I realized we are not going to get money. So I went to the doctor and I told her, can we try and get this money tomorrow? She said yes, but you have to know how to handle your mom. Because my mom was like, I'm not sleeping here anymore. And so I talked to my bro-in-law and my dad, and I was like, get out of the building so that I deal with this. And I told my mom, if we get the money, you're going to go. If we don't, we have no option. And she was mad. She stormed out. She went. And even me, I walked out. So you see, those 2 scenarios, I was at peace. One was resolved, the other was not resolved, but I was at peace. It only happens to me in my life because I have him in my life. He's the only reason why. Because if he wasn't in my life, you see, before I had God in my life, yes. But to be honest, God was a concept for me. He was something out there, some identity I had been told about. And because the mind works with form, the mind is material. It only works with form. If right now I tell you, Miriam is such a nice girl, you should have a relationship with her. I don't give you a picture. I don't give you a phone to call her. I don't give you nothing. I just tell you, build a personal relationship with Miriam. How are you going to do that? You can't. It will be conceptual. And when it's conceptual, there's a lot of distortion, illusion, delusion,
Projection.
You will create a God of your own idea, a God that is limited by your limitations, a God that is beyond what is, goes as far as you want him to go, And you can hear it in the language, in how people talk about God.
In fact, now I see why we fight, because my God, the one I created, can't be the God you created.
And can't love you.
Yeah.
The God I created cannot love you if you've done that to me.
I've never thought about it
You
like
forget that even your enemy is the apple of God's eye. But because we are constructing a God with our mind, because we have not learned about the mind and how it works, and how to create a relationship with a spiritual being that is higher than the material world, because we do not know ourselves as spiritual beings. We are still material in our thinking, in our desires, so we have to transcend our material reality so that we can connect with him. So the guru is a bridge for me. For me, the guru is like, the way you can use a phone. If I pick a phone and somebody comes and it's like, unaongea na Miriam. But aoni Miriam, they can only see a phone. Ama the phone is ringing, I'm like, ndio huyu Miriam. Miriam sio hiyo simu. Miriam is the one on the other side. So for me, the guru is the instrument through which I access God. And so, the same way I say Miriam when I'm just holding a phone is the same way I say God when I'm looking and referring to the guru. And so when I speak to him, I have an image in my mind. I have his voice in my head installed. I know how he talks. He has talked to me before. So I can have a conversation and be like, dude, like the way people, even Catholics, tell Mother Mary to intercede for them. You see? Because it's that thing of the mind needs form. Even when we are saying Jesus to intercede for us, Jesus is our way to the Father. It's that thing. Jesus came and had a form. His role was to give us something that our mind can grasp, so that we can connect with that infinite that our mind cannot grasp.
I'm thinking even in the spiritual community, mostly where people have separated the concept of, or the people have understood more that we are spiritual beings having a spiritual material experience, spiritual beings having a body, all that talk. One of the things I notice is we would be stuck, especially even like for me before 2019, I would be stuck at that. And I thought somewhere in my mind, since I have understood the concept of me being a spiritual being, this being of light, I am self-realized. I can do anything. I can zen out. Yeah. Little did I know that there is so much, much more to it than just understanding it conceptually. Yeah. Because there's a lot of transformation of the mind, which is something Paramahamsa Vishwananda talks about. You have to transform your mind. You have to remove the distortion. Yeah. And I like how you've given the example of both your father and mother, how one worked out, the other one didn't work out, and how it still didn't it still didn't dissuade you from following him, because it's something, for me, it's in my heart to talk about. When we approach a guru, or when now finally we get gurus, we think, like you said initially, things have to go a certain way. And then when you're in it, you realize things don't go your way at all.
South.
They don't go your way at all.
Yeah.
Meaning that, which now I'm realizing, it's because you enter with the mind that is not transformed. So when you get in, your mind has to be transformed. And how it gets transformed is by things not going your way so much until you surrender. You're like, I think I'm there. I think I need to ask someone, because clearly my mind there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So that's, in fact, I'm literally downloading this as I'm speaking, that things go south so much because the mind needs to be, it's like wringing out dirt. Like it needs to be shown, oh, this is not how, this is the wrong, this is distortion, this is the wrong way of looking at life. Which is why, for me, my experience with my guru, and I've talked about it before, has been south. Like nothing at all 1,000% went how I expected. But deep down, you always have, I think my thing was peace. I was so, didn't have peace of mind. And in as much as now chaos was just happening outside, if I was just using my mind, I'd have left a long time ago. I wouldn't even have gotten to 2020 or maybe 2021. I'd have left. But why I stayed is because there was somewhere inside Ukondani that I used to feel like an inkling of peace. That's just a quiet, still place there where I knew undeniably this first wasn't there before, and somehow it's there now, and it's not moving. It's like unmoving, and it's there. It's like a well that is super still. Then there is chaos, but then every time there's chaos, I go back there. It was never ending. So now is when I realize the things going south in my life wasn't my guru, because that's another thing we project on the guru. We think, I'm repeating myself, we think when the guru comes, I'll get my job, I'll get money, I'll get,
I remember the conversation we used to have. It's
all
like
the time.
You're using someone, you're like, nimeshindwa kufix life. Wanasema this is the solution. Basi kama fix.
Yes, and I insist, because I don't want people to get the wrong concept of a guru. Like when you're looking for a guru, whichever you find, don't think that they are coming to work on your mind and the things that your mind perceive. In fact, they're coming to work on it so that it can be transformed, so that you can now live the experience of you being a spiritual being.
Yeah, because it's a reality. You are a spiritual being. You are love. You are made of love. You are a child of God. You have an eternal, a very deep, intimate relationship with God. But umelala.
Imagine.
You can't see that. Because your mind has been conditioned over time, like millennia, life after life. You think this is who you are. You think. And that's why we have so much resistance around the guru, for example, is because something in your mind knows that this identity will have to be dropped. And so I remember the very first time I met him, he had come to Nairobi. And I had been invited for a darshan, and we were at the
darshan is like a blessing that he gives people.
Yeah, so we were at the Ram Ram Mandir in Parklands, and people are in the hall. They're singing. It's like a church sitting. There's an aisle, and I see a group of people at the very back, and it's like he's coming. You know the way he comes with a squad, eh? And so people at the inside the temple align themselves along the aisle to see him. I don't know. I didn't know how it was gonna go. Nilikuwa nafikiria labda nikaa president. Hello. Anasalimiana. You know?
That's funny.
So nikaona Allah, people are going down. People are going on their knees.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah.
They are going to kneel for a man.
A human
being. And I'm there, I'm like, wait, and I can't leave now. You know, niko huko mbele, nilijipelekesha mbele moshene, ndio nikaone, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm like, hey. And then nishaenda kwa aisle. You know, so now I'm like sticking out like a sore thumb. Ni mimi tu nimesimama hapo, kila mtu ame. And I'm also like one of the two black people in the room. You know, everyone else is Indian. you know how the ego feels when you've been spotlighted and it's checking, am I the right person? Am I dressed well? That chaos, internal chaos, it was boiling inside of me, because we always want to be seen a certain way. We want to be held at a certain standard, the ego and its shenanigans. And then, I decided, you know what? I am defiant. I'm not going to bow for a man. But I am embarrassed that I'm the only one standing. I look stupid. So for the sake of not looking stupid, let me bow. But I'm not bowing at it because, in fact, I will bow and close my eyes. And then I will just wait until this shenanigans is over and I will stand up. And so I put my head down. I'm looking, how do people bow? I don't even bow like I was Anglican, even in Anglican.
Yeah, we don't
We
bow.
bow our spiritual legs, not our physical ones. Like the way they say in Kikuyu, soturie marumagoro. Not even our physical knees are hitting the ground. They never hit the ground. So I'm down there, I put my head down, and I'm like estimating. I'm listening to the commotion, and I'm like, when commotion reduces, I assume I'm a Peter, I stand up. I estimated, and the minute I lift my head like this, his feet is just here. And when I remember I saw feet. He was wearing blue socks. I'll never forget. I saw that feet, and something in me just did a soma. I felt things I've never felt. Things that I cannot even point to any part of my body that I felt those things. But I just felt something. My whole system was like almost short-circuiting. And I stood up and went to sit at my chair, and I was wondering the whole time, what has happened? What has happened? Now, the whole chaos of Ati, I was bowing to a man, now that was forgotten. Now, my issue was, what is this? What has happened? What has happened? Even when I went forward to receive the blessing, I was still wondering, what has happened? What is going on? By the way, the Dashan, I felt nothing. I just looked into his eyes, but at the back of my mind was like, what has happened? What is happening? So for me, that internal feeling of a certain destabilization that has happened, it later is when I realized it's a recognition. It's your soul recognizes that this being, this soul, you have a connection with them. It is not a mind thing. It is not, he's so brilliant, I'll follow him. It wasn't a mind thing.
Guruji never gives you, we call him Guruji, he never gives you reason to follow him. Never. Like, he will never say it. He will not, it has to come from your heart. And in our Vedanta is our philosophy, Bhakti Marga philosophy. It's called Tadatmya Vedanta. It explains this concept of that recognition, especially because she said the guru-disciple relationship is eternal. So once you meet in different lifetimes, because you meet your and it comes, you meet your guru, the disciple and the guru meet in different lifetimes, in different settings. It doesn't have to be guru disciple all the time.
Sometimes he's not your guru in this
Sometimes,
life.
he can be like a king and you're a servant.
Enemy
they're all those things. So the recognition. So the soul, we all know that we are souls. The soul is 100%. It has it's omniscient. So it can recognize its person. So that is the recognition that she's talking about. It's called pratyabhijna.
Yeah,
That's Sanskrit. Yeah, it's Sanskrit, but it's a recognition of someone you know, and your soul is like, what the hell is going on? And your mind is like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So there is a dissonance happening between your soul and your mind in that instance.
Exactly, because it's like, and then what happens is when the guru is in your life, your internal incoherence becomes very apparent. You cannot avoid your own shenanigans. You cannot pretend. Sometimes when you're, especially on the spiritual journey, you can rationalize, you can bypass so many things. But with the devotee disciple, there's a certain level of sincerity that is unlocked, that even you can't lie to yourself about your own issues, you know? And sometimes, because that is his assignment, assignment is to help you see the distortions, because this is a world of free will, so that you can choose to change. And that is a thing I have realized about my relationship with him. The reason I know it's working is because of how much I have changed. You know? Because if you're not changing, then you're just absorbing knowledge, information. But if something about how you do things, how you see yourself, how you see others, how you treat others is not changing, then that relationship is not working. So he highlights, I remember the last time he came here, I think it was March last year.
No, but one, man. 2023.
Oh, 2024, actually.
Didn't come last year, Kamala.
This is 2026, my dear.
Oh,
He came
God.
2024.
Oh, my God. We're in 2026?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yes.
2024 March, when he came for the yagna for his mom. So I remember,
That's 2023.
Kajima's,
Yeah, I was in Jalaram.
it was 2023.
Yeah.
What? Okay, time has flown. So the last time he came, after the yagna, the following day, we were put on alert. Maybe he will want to see devotees. You guys stay alert. And then we were called. You guys come to the temple. That day, I really tried to go to the temple. Like, have you ever... Until later is when I'm like, what was wrong with that journey? Because I'm on time. I even have blank time. You know me, I have blank time. Ubers are cancelling. I'm like, okay, let me get an Uber border. Uber borders are cancelling. And then I finally, our friend Dana finally says, okay, let me call you a rider, the one who delivers her stuff. Calls the rider comes. I tell him, please, I'm late. I go, I'm the last one. I'm there tiptoeing. I sit quietly. He's speaking to people. Speaks, there's question and answer, there's what. And then the thing issues, and now we are all standing up. He comes straight to me and tells me, you are late. Hey, my friend. I am there defending myself because the whole time I'm on the border, I'm praying. I'm like, please get me there on time. So now he's standing in front of me and he's telling me I'm late. And I'm like, are you serious? Do you know how much it has taken me to be here? That's now my ego. So it's like he's shining a torch on your ego and your defense mechanisms and patterns. And I'm there later after the whole thing. He smiles. And then he leaves. And then I'm like, oh my God, I failed. I failed the exam. I should just have swallowed my pride and said, yes, I'm late. Because it's true, I was late. But you see, I have this pattern that I did not know of making excuses and defending myself and, being a victim. And I tried this and I did. Bottom line is, I was late. And so that is a practical example of how the guru transforms you, because some of these patterns are very subtle. Some of these patterns, we are very attached to them. Some of these patterns, even when people in our lives tell us that you are like this, we get so mad, we block them, we call them narcissistic. And, and we are like, yeah, I can't deal. But it's because they are reflecting to us a pattern that is in us, that is so deep and hidden, and so attached to an identity we have that we can't see it. And if we don't change that pattern, because it's a distortion, it will distort our perspective of who we are, of how others are, and it will not allow us to see God in everything and God even in ourselves. So that is something that's very practical that he has done for me. Some people, it has been ruthless. Because, if somebody telling you something very minor makes you feel so agitated and,
Me, for example.
Like you feel you're boiling inside.
Like
you're
me, anger was like the thing.
Yeah.
And since we are with Sobage in my house right now, I noticed before, I think she would trigger the hell out of me. She says something and I'm just triggered and I am gonna defend myself. Like you said, it's the ego.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean? Do you think you're smarter than me? Etc.
Yeah.
So this time we've been living together, I have been observing how it's so funny. The same exact conversations we would have back then and they would trigger me so much. They are not triggering me. Even when I'm like, wait, how different am I? I haven't gotten angry literally at all.
Yeah.
That conversation ended very well, like from beginning, like normal humans, like adults, mature adults. Yeah. And it's me that it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. And the fact that you can see your own transformation. I remember there's a conversation I was having with someone and I started to feel triggered. I started to feel it. And it was so interesting because I realized I was observing from a different perspective. So I could feel the irritation arising. I could feel myself. I could tell this is where I say a snappy word. This is where I change my tone to irritate them back. This is where I usually snap back at them or say something or walk away. I could tell these are the points where and I saw this is how I actually have ruined relationships in the past.
Interesting.
True. Yeah.
True.
And I'm like, and then I didn't take the blame. And then I was like, that person is ni. Me, I'm perfect, by the way. Me, I'm okay. And then I started to notice, wait, that is growth. That my mind, it may transform you to that level. Sometimes when we think about transforming our minds, we think we will wake up one day and it will be transformed. Another thing I noticed, when you get into a relationship with a guru, you think that now you are special, that you have already been transformed by this relationship. And so you show up in relationship as if you are special because you're working on yourself. Because you can now chant, because you can hold down a meditation for an hour. You are, you can create another layer of ego without knowing. And so I started to notice this is his grace. This is really God's grace, that I can be able to see that and still see how far I am yet to go.
I know.
And then remain humble and be like, you know what, Aki sijui.
It's crazy.
The more you know, the more you're like, well, I don't know.
The more you think you've made progress, something else happens and you're like, Allah, I'm square one again.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel stagnant. It's not stagnation. It's just realization like, wow, I have so much more to learn.
Exactly.
And it's His grace that even gives you that feeling of not feeling stagnant or defeated or, oh my God, this journey. Because He tells us the spiritual journey, people think the people who go on the spiritual path are just bums and people who don't have anything else to do. But it's the hardest path.
It's the hardest thing. In fact, when I see people judging and being like, I'm like, ignorance is bliss, honestly. Because if I had known, I would have. By the way, I hesitated.
It's easier to not.
I hesitated. Because something in me was like, this thing you're getting into, you will never be able to come. When you see something you can't unsee.
Yeah.
And I remember the hesitation, I remember the resistance, but how my mind was fronting it was, what will people say? What will people say? What will your family say? You will be rejected. You will be an outcast. No one will care. No one will love you. And then somehow my mind finalizes, you will die. Because what is the biggest fear? It is death. We are still thinking like infants.
Yeah.
You think that if you're rejected, you're going to die. You think if your parents cast you out, you will die. Because that is how this mind that is not transformed is a primitive mind. It thinks in terms of survival. It's thinking if your friend group leaves you, you will die. That is the ultimate conclusion it makes. And I remember that fear was so paralyzing. And our country, Swami, was like, you're getting initiated today. And I have never had trouble like that day. Trouble that even manifested in the matatu I was in. Matatu hadi mlango ilianguka that day. Have you ever seen matatu mlango inaanguka kwa barabara pa?
Initiation means becoming a devotee and like wearing these kantis we are wearing.
Yeah, like committing to the path.
Committing to him
and to
being
the
your guru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to the temple, I was like, guy, and then I was like, God, you have brought me this far. This is not news to you. You know this day was going to come. You knew. So I surrendered. I told God, if this is going to be, you will allow it to be. And when I surrendered, Guruji looked at me and he asked me, are you vegetarian? I said, no. He's like, I can only initiate you after a year. And the people we were with that day, they were like, so how did you feel? Surprisingly, I didn't feel like, after hiyo kuteseka hivyo mentally, emotionally, yote alafu anakataa, I didn't feel like that. Because I had surrendered. I was like, whatever outcome it is, it's up to you. I had let it, go. And so even when I finally got initiated, which was like a few days later.
Oh, yeah, it's a few days later.
Yeah, because I remember we went for dinner somewhere with Swami and he was like, you have 8 days. He looked at me, he was like, you are 8 days. Do you know where my mind went? This mind is crazy. My mind went to the sausages in my fridge, all the types of meat in my fridge.
I didn't see that coming.
And I knew that now that he has spoken it with this one, I can't eat those things anymore. And I had told myself, wacha nizimalize kwanza, alafu nianze safari ya vegetarianism.
Guys, that's funny.
Guys, attachment is serious, by the way. And it looks funny now, but I'm sure there are people who cannot.
Yeah,
be
there are people who
vegetarian.
swear I would never not eat
exactly.
meat. Like,
so what we are trying to say, it's not
okay.
an easy journey. It's not an easy journey at all. By the way, those sausages, everything that was not vegetarian, I got rid of it the following morning, and I've never eaten meat again.
It's not that hard.
And so that thing of realizing your attachments, realizing your patterns, realizing where you taking responsibility is part of the journey. You know, people think ati when you get a guru, unafuata tu mtu blindly. Sema hivi, unasema hivi. You know, that is not true. And that's why I say, be curious. Think for yourself. Ask yourself, what beliefs am I carrying that I have picked from elsewhere that are not mine? You remember iSpeed? He came sometime this month. And there was so much on social media of Americans saying, oh my God, we didn't know Africa was like this. You won't tell me they don't have internet? They do. If they were interested, they could have gone themselves and researched. In fact, we have Google Maps. And they can use the satellite thing to actually see how Africa looks like. But they have never. Why? Because they have had beliefs that they were not willing to question. They believed they did not know that they were not theirs. And so what I say is when you feel yourself in judgment of something or someone, the first question is this me or is it a belief that was installed in me? Find out for yourself. Ask around, research, so that you have a proper understanding to reject it. At least you will reject it with proper research and proper information. So it's not an easy path. It's not been easy, but it's not been easy because we have an ego. We have a mind that resists transformation. But to the soul, to the part of us that we are, it has been refreshing. It has been like a step closer home. You know, I've been feeling I'm almost home. I'm almost home. And it's not about somewhere we are going. It's not about heaven. It's not about Vaikunta. It's about that I will finally make peace with everything about myself and everything in my life exactly as it is. And that will be heaven for me. Yeah.
And you know, we've been taught you find heaven here. We are not going anywhere.
Yeah, in fact, Guruji says, if you don't see God here, what do you think will change when you close your eyes? You think you'll be a different person. You'll be the same person, just without a body. So if you have not gotten to that realization while you are here alive, and that's why he says, why do people wait to go on the spiritual path when they have no energy? And even in Christianity, they used to say, munagoje hadi mugonjeke, munaenda kukufa, ndio munaokoka. You know? It's because people think there's something magical that will happen when you die suddenly. You remain the same person. So it's better that you allow the transformation to happen while you are alive. Your life is actually the journey of transformation. Your life is the process. The process is not when you sit down to meditate. The process is not when you start praying. That is not the process. The process is when you're sitting in a matatu and somebody is stepping on your toe. That is the process. The process is when you check your M-Pesa and it is 0.00. The process is when you have something that somebody else needs, but you don't want to give it to them. Your own life is designed for you. It's a customized process to transform yourself. So if you see it like that, you will start to accept your life in a different way. And you remove an aspect of suffering when you start to accept yourself as your life as the process. Yeah.
I don't think we can finish this topic.
Yeah.
I don't think we can finish this topic, to be honest, because there's even stuff I wanted to say about. Let me just say the story of the bowing down. I was laughing so much, is because when I first met my guru, when I first met him in Mauritius, I was with Radha Priya, and I was like, why am I? Radha Priya is already bowing me. I'm looking at her like, Unadu, why are you bowing to a man?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Me and the ego and the mind.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if I bowed down. And if I did, it was just out of courtesy, like, it looks awkward.
Yes.
But I just went very hesitantly. Yeah. The next time I had that, so the rest I was just doing it out of motions. When I went to India, I remember he was with Swami Parantapa and they are walking and I'm sweeping somewhere and they are walking and I have my mind has this decision to make of, am I bowing or not? Because usually when he passes, you don't have to, but it's good, There was just conflict. Anatembea, slow motion, bow, don't bow, like that. I'm like, God, just help me. I just made a prayer to God. I'm like, I need help because I am so damn conflicted. Because why am I understand who he is. I'd already seen the miracles I've spoken about, but still my mind is like, it's a man. Why am I bowing? This is months later. Hey, by the time now he's getting to where I was, I just bowed down. And I'll never forget, that's etched in my mind because of the feeling I had. I had this overwhelming feeling like something just clicked, and I can't even describe. It's not even clicking. It was a key thing. It's like a wave, like that, just a wave. And I felt first, nimepita mtihani, good. Then I think it was like a blessing or something, because you have to be with him to understand what we are talking about. He has this energy, so I feel like that it was like his grace or his love or his something came and I knew, and I felt like he told me like, good job, yes, but you did the right thing. I don't know how to I can't put it in words, but it was like props. But even not just props, that's the right thing to do, or how can I even explain it? But that's the day I knew bowing to him he's not human, first of all. And bowing to him is not a mind thing. It's not a human thing. It's not who is better than who. That's the day I think that barrier, I think it's a distortion. I think I can say it's the distortion that was, the dissonance was completely removed, because since that day I never had issues again with it. I never saw him as a human, and now I realize it's not even my mind that changed. It is his grace, or it's something he did that helped me realize. Then obviously when you study the Vedanta, you study the Bhagavad Gita, which we need to talk about, you realize in chapter 11 where Arjuna bows down to Krishna when he finally realizes who he is. That feels the same, like it's like your soul recognizes, but then my mind was allowed to see what my soul already knew. Yeah. And it's overwhelming, to say the least. It's
like a recognition. It's like your soul is like, the mind has suddenly surrendered. Yeah. Tupeleko kwenye tunafaa kupelekwa,
Yeah, I think that must have been like a small level of surrender, but that must have been it, chapter 11.
You remember what he said when you asked him? I remember when he came, you asked him, you specifically, you asked him, why does God takes so long to come? Kwani anakuja 11th hour? Kwani asikuje 5th hour, 4th hour? You remember that question? And he was saying that before, as long as the ego is active, he's not even allowed to step in. You know, and I think that's what the Bible says, that I'm a jealous God. That's what it alludes to. There's only one seat. And if the ego is sitting on it, the divine cannot step in. But the minute you the minute you let go of the ego, even for a second,
I know.
he's there, like he
Jumps.
rushes in. He's like, sha! Anakuskumanisha, shwa! Unajipata, you know, his grace hits you like that. And then you grab onto the ego again. You know, I am this, I am that, I need this, I want this. Until anakuguide tena, unajipata tena, umesarenda, anarashin. So I think that's what usually happens. And bowing for me is a recognition of the relationship.
Yeah.
It's like you are helping me in a way that nobody else can help me. You're going to help me reach the ultimate goal. You will help me remove this curtain that is hiding God from me. That's why I honor you. Because that's the greatest act of love. You know, loving, if I love you enough to remove the thing that will remind you who you are, that, you know, the thing that's stopping you from knowing who you are and your relationship with God, which is the ultimate ecstasy, then that is a person. You know, there's a story I read. I think it was him who said, or somebody else. I was talking about the man in the desert. The man is walking in the desert and he starts to collapse because of thirst and dehydration. And there's an oasis just a few steps away. But he's too weak, he can't get there.
It reminds me of the Jesus story of the guy in the blind man.
Yes. And the man and somebody else comes and he scoops some water and he gives the man. In that moment, who is important? Is it the water or the man who brings the water?
Goes without saying. The man who brings the water, yeah.
Exactly, because the water was there, but you couldn't reach. And that is why the guru is important, in case you're still wondering why the guru is important. The guru is the man who scoops the water and gives you. You're dying in this world. You're thirsty in this world. You're repeating patterns. You're traumatized, you're re-traumatizing. You don't know how to get out of this hellhole.
Oh,
you know,
Lord, yeah.
But then somebody comes and gives you God. God has always been there, but you have been thirsty for him. God has always been there, but you couldn't establish a connection. If somebody comes to remove that which is standing between you and God, then that person is really, really important. And that's why we bow.
And me and Sobagia were saying, we discuss these things as Sangha is like the bunch of devotees. Then when we get together, and then when everyone is just sharing their story, the conclusion is always, I don't know how my life I can't imagine my life without Guruji. It doesn't even... Yeah. It doesn't even make sense. Like, I can't imagine it without him. Not because, like we said, life changed. Didn't. Because the mind was still there, the ego was still there. That's the compartmentalization that is important. But having this one person who's just there with you, who's helping you get to your goal, depending on what your life purpose is like, it's great. Every time I'm feeling emotional. Every time I get to this position, I'm like, I'm gonna cry, because this is not even...
Yeah, I know. The guru is the one who never allows you to forget God. He never allows you to forget God. And that is, every time I listen to his satsangs, every time I follow his instruction, it's like he's so committed to your relationship with God than you are yourself. You know? Yeah. It's like, I will do everything possible for you to realize the relationship you have with God, because he can see it. He can see how God loves you. He can see how God holds you. But wewe huoni.
It's like a mother and a child, how the mothers, I'm not a mother, but I imagine mothers who are loving will do anything to ensure the child gets the best out of, like, because they can see the potential, they know the potential of the
Exactly.
child, so they'll
Yeah.
do everything. And when we become initiated devotees, that's what he promises, that he will do everything, everything possible to get you
Yeah.
to God.
Even if it is your own nonsense that is standing in the way,
He'll
he is
remove
so
it.
willing and gracious enough to kick you in the ass and tell you, please, stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
You know? And then most importantly, he always reminds us that we are love, that somewhere
Yeah.
deep inside, we are loved, we are love itself, we are loved. So he keeps telling us to love ourselves. He keeps telling us to accept ourselves exactly as we are, you know? And that is something that is very rare in this world. It's very rare for someone to tell you that you are okay exactly the way you are. You don't need to change anything, you know? So, yeah.
We have to finish. Don't need to be too long. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being with us until this time. If you'd like to learn more about Paramahamsa Vishwananda, we'll put the link in the description. Watch his satsangs. At the very least, just listen to him and learn more about him if you're interested. But until next time, thank you for coming, and Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Krishna Arpanamastu.
Krishna Arpanamastu.